Hey Mountaineers Nation, it's time to talk hoops with women's basketball coach Mark Kellogg. This year's squad is deep with new and returning talent and eyes on a Big 12 title and more. So let's get into it. It's the Mark Kellogg Show on your flagship for Mountaineer sports, WV The Torch.
All right, and welcome to a special edition of the John Fredericks Media Network and WV The Torch. Go to wthetorch.com, your Mountaineer flagship for all sports, right there, all of our 9 affiliate radio stations. Find out what they are. Download our app, wvthetorch.com. With us today, women's basketball coach Mark Kellogg. Got a little spring in his step today. Well, season hasn't even started, but it really has officially started today because his first official NCAA practice is today. So, of course, we got to have him on, right? It's the first day. He's got to get on. He's fired up. Also joining us for this segment, Ivy White, senior correspondent, women's basketball, WVSportsNation.com. You want to follow sports in West Virginia? You want to go to WVSportsNation.com, bookmark it, make it your home. You can read Ivy White. This interview here will be up there pretty soon, WVSportsNation.com. And we wouldn't have Mark Kellogg here without my good friend, Rocky at Vision Homes. Everybody loves Rocky. He's like the biggest fan there is for over 30 years. Vision Homes has built hundreds of custom homes right here in Motown and surrounding areas. Their expert team, where they're going to design a brand new custom home that fits your needs, your style, your budget. Best of all, they lock in your price before they start to build. Rocky's a genius. So stay on budget, guaranteed. No land, no worries. Let Vision Homes do it. They can help you with that too. Family-owned company, been there forever. So whether you're a first-time home buyer, you're looking to upgrade and build your dream home, or you're an empty nester, maybe you want to downsize, simplify your living space like me in Washington, D.C., ask Vision Homes. Invest just 1 hour with them, and they'll talk you through everything you ever wanted to know, step-by-step process. Visit askvisionhomes.com, askvisionhomes.com, and see how simple it is to build a house that you will be proud of. And our good friend Rocky, a dynamic I don't even know what, like, the fandom is the fandom. He goes to all your games. He's like a groupie, Coach Kellogg. It follows you all around the country. First thing he did is say, hey, I got to get tickets to Greenbrier. I can't miss that. So I think he's one of your biggest fans out there, Coach.
Yeah, Rocky's he's one of the best, and a fan, but just a great guy, and just very humble, very giving as well. One of the more giving people that I've been around with his time and investments and money as well. But yeah, huge fan of Rocky Simmons, no doubt.
Rocky's a great guy, big supporter of women's basketball in West Virginia. Speaking of women's basketball, Coach, today's your first day of your official day of practice. You fired up?
Yeah, no, we're excited for sure. Gave him the weekend off to kind of refresh from the preseason and played some kickball, kind of staff first players kickball on Friday. So that was fun to get to do that. And, September 22nd seems awfully early for basketball practice. You probably remember, it used to be October 15th, and then the night we would have the Midnight Madness. And I don't know, everything keeps getting moved up, and our start dates get moved up, and practice times, and somehow here we are on the 22nd of September in a full-on practice. But, there'll be a new fresh energy and excitement in the gym here in just a little bit when we get on the court.
All right, Coach Kellogg, you're carrying right now 11 women on your roster. You've carried 12 or 13. I think the maximum now is 15 in the NCAA. Seems like you like to be around the 12 or 13 number. Why 11?
Just kind of the way it worked out. We actually may add 1 or 2 more here at some point. So still working through the NCAA and a visa issue on a couple more. So it really was 13. We just had trouble getting them here. So a little smaller. I think you're going to see smaller rosters, though, just because of the NIL and transfer portal and those types of things. I think we're in that era now where having 14 or 15 kids just isn't possible. You can't keep them all happy. There's not enough playing time. They're going to transfer. So you kind of, take your chances and hope you stay healthy and remain healthy throughout the season so you can have a smaller roster.
Is this a roster that you can win with?
Yeah, of course. I think every year we have that expectation. Time will tell, of course, but we'll go into the year feeling really, really good. I think there's talent. I think it sounds weird, but I think we do have quite a bit of depth. We only have 11, but I think the depth is pretty good with those 11. We've battled a few not season-ending injury things, but just a few issues here early, so we need to get them all back out there and kind of get going. But hopefully, I think that will be sooner rather than later where they're all there. But yeah, no, we're excited about them and excited to kind of turn the page here into the official practice.
How's things going in the weight room?
Yeah, good. No, Zach Allen is our weight strength and conditioning coach. He does a phenomenal job. Our kids you have to kind of grow to love and enjoy the weight room, and if you do, you'll reap the benefits. And a lot of it is injury prevention as well, though. Now it's so much about strength, but it's about injury prevention and taking care of yourself and your body. And Zach does a tremendous job in there for us.
Well, let's get Ivy here involved. Ivy White, she is not only a student at West Virginia University. She's a senior. She's in her senior year right now, but she's also our senior correspondent for WVSportsNation.com, and she covers Mark Kellogg and the women's basketball team. Ivy, take it away.
Yes. So coming off your preseason, you said today is your first official practice. What do you see as your team's strengths and weaknesses at the moment? Do you have anything?
Yeah, good question. I think we're still trying to, get that defensive identity that we've had the last couple of years and put that in place. And that's not a knock on the team. It's just early still. So we're just trying to work through a little bit of that. But we've come a long way here in the last couple of weeks with it. So I think we've taken some steps there. We wanted to rebound it a little bit better. So kind of keeping close tabs on that, if that can be a strength, weakness, or is it going to fall somewhere in between? And then just, how good and efficient can we be on the offensive end shooting the basketball? So, again, I think we're working through that. I think those can all be strengths. We hope they will be. We want them to be once we get there, but just keeping close eyes on that right now.
Gotcha. Nice. Thank you. Do you have any players that have really surprised you in the offseason that you think fans are going to love this season coming up?
Yeah, well, we like all the new kids. The returners, Jordan Harrison has been great, was great a year ago. We'll have a tremendous senior year. Sydney Shaw has come a long way from a year ago about this time to the leader, and she's just playing with ultimate confidence now, handling the ball a little bit more than she had in the past. Sydney Woodley has worked really, really hard the entire off season. That kid is in the gym just all the time on her own. In great shape, those types of kids, and then the newcomers. They're all going to have an impact in some way. To pick out one's probably not quite fair. But like Gia Cook is a transfer from Houston. So she's been in the Big 12 and was a double-digit scorer. She's going to have a pretty big impact. Mimi Wheeler, Kiera Wheeler, but we call her Mimi. Mimi comes from Norfolk State, where she just put up huge numbers at that level. Carter McCray came from Wisconsin, really good rebounder. We need her to rebound for us. Logan Johnson, another Big 12 transfer from Texas Tech, has been great. And then Riley McAlesky has been really good from Butler, really a good player. And then Maddie Parrish is our only freshman. So I probably named just about all of them, kept a couple of returners. But for the most part, yeah, everybody's been great.
That is maybe a good thing about a smaller roster. You can kind of connect, and the fans will get to connect with these individual players a lot. So that'll be really fun to see.
Yeah, there's some continuity, with those kids, and even Jordan Thomas, who was a freshman last year, will take a huge step. And I always think the summer between when you first play, so like for her, Jordan played some big time minutes for us. So, is the biggest summer. So this was a big summer for Jordan to see if she could, elevate her game. And then CC Riviere would be the last one too, a post player for us that got to play some last year, who was a junior college transfer. So big summer for her as well. So yeah, you're going to have some familiar faces and then, some new ones, but just really good kids again that represent the program the right way.
Coach, I want to talk about Meany a minute from transferring in from an HBCU college, Norfolk State. Big step up. But when you look at her numbers, it's she was dominant. How's she going to do here?
Yeah, she was really dominant there. And we went back and looked at was she dominant against like the Power Four type schools, and in the NCAA tournament, I think she had like 20 and 11 on Maryland, and had some other big games earlier in the year as well. She's a very versatile kind of 4-5 player. She's undersized at the 5, but you could play her there. Play her at the 4. She can stretch the floor. She can shoot the 3, put it on the floor a little bit. Good IQ, plays at her own pace, so she doesn't get sped up, which I kind of like. It just, you put length on her, it's not going to bother her as much. You put somebody small on her, she's going to have some advantages. But she's in no way Luka Doncic, but she does play at her pace, kind of how Luka plays at his own pace.
Tell me about tell me about transitioning some of your new players that come in. Tell me about the level of intensity in defense that you play, and some of them that didn't have that level of defense at their former school. How do you instill that, Coach?
Yeah, they really don't have much of a choice. It's just kind of the way of life, here. And a lot of the returners help that. They kind of set the tone, set the stage. Again, we don't go through all of that all summer, so we save them a little bit. We don't want them going 12 months out of the year pressing and getting up full court and having to, the wear and tear on their body. So that's not something we put in right off the bat. That's something we've added in the last couple of weeks now. So yeah, just teaching them there's a standard, there's an expectation in which we expect them to play and produce. And a lot of that is effort. And then there's some technique to that as well. But for the most part, it's a mindset. And we're just trying to establish the mindset now with giving them some techniques that might help along the way.
Well, it's always tough when you come from an offensive-minded school, and not that you guys don't prioritize the offense, but what I've learned here with your team, if you're going to play for Coach Kellogg, you got to play defense, right? You just got to do it. This segment brought to you by Tri-County Plumbing, servicing Mon, Marion, and Preston counties, and now servicing all of Harrison County in West Virginia. They love Coach Kellogg, and they love women's WVU basketball. Marlon Motter and his crew say we love West Virginia men's and women's basketball team. He's a season ticket holder for both men and women basketball. And you can see Marlon and his wife, Laura, at every game, unless there's a plumbing emergency, and then they got to go do that. And if there is, just call them at 304-241-1034, 304-241-1034, or visit online at tricounty-pc.com. That's tricounty-pc.com. And we thank Marlon and Laura for their support as well. Coach, before I get back to Ivy, what interaction does your team have, during practice and during the season with the men's basketball? I mean, obviously you guys are in the weight room and stuff like that, but what is the interaction between both coaching staffs and some of the players, Coach?
Yeah, good question. I mean, we share the same building. So, when you come into our facility, everything to the right of the facility is on the men's side and everything to the left is the women's. So our paths do cross quite a bit. A lot of times it depends really on your practice time, though. There's some years where you have the exact same practice time, so your schedules are similar. Other times you're not, so you kind of don't see them as much. But I've known Ross Hodge now for quite a while. Actually, our paths crossed about 27 years ago, working Dallas Maverick basketball camps together, and just a lot of connections. His entire staff, connections with us from our days, whether that was down in Texas or Colorado or wherever, that we've coached, and some of his assistants have coached as well. So great staff, really good people. They're going to represent, I think, this state the right way. Very approachable. We've had basketball talks, life talks, just anything in between. But yeah, really big fans of what they're doing right now and excited to kind of continue to work with them.
Ivy?
Yeah, so Coach, you've mentioned that you have a lot of new players coming in, a lot of new girls, and a lot of them are already familiar with the Big 12, which will be good. But what's one lesson or one thing that you really try to instill in these players that goes beyond basketball?
Yeah, I mean, off the court, I just think, we have a leadership team, and we talk through what it's like to be a leader these days, and what, just really being a good person, which I don't necessarily have to instill because mom, dads, families have done a lot of that. But just, yeah, being a really good person, treating people the right way goes a long way, saying thank you, yes, sir, yes, ma'am, talking to anybody, treating people the right way, keeping your space clean, just things that are, when you're dealing with, it's not just about you and you're dealing with team, right? It's just much bigger than yourself. And so getting them to truly understand that. And then how do these kids cope with adversity? That's difficult to do. So it's easy to, when you're winning, going to practice, having fun, everybody's patting you on your back. When that's not the case, how do you respond? So many life lessons in what we do, some of which happen on the court. A lot of them happen off the court, but also being, giving of your time. In this day and age of NIL, everybody wants to get paid for everything, but there's lots of opportunities to give back without getting paid, and to make sure we understand that that's very important to what we are. So just having a servant heart and leading the right way is really important.
Nice. And building off that, beyond the wins and losses, what are some of your goals for the season?
Yeah, continue with just being relationship driven, and learn and get to know these kids a little bit better, which we've done so far. And like I've said, I really, really like them. I enjoy being around them. Off the court, they're great. Practice, they've been really good. At times I need to pull even a little bit more out of them, probably from an energy and excitement and emotion, because we're very kind of flatline consistent, and that's an okay thing. But at times too, I'm trying to create a little bit more than that. But just getting to know them and developing those relationships. And if we do it right, their time here, or their time in college, should be one of the greatest experiences of their life until they go on to get married or have children, or, wherever life takes them. And just making sure that when they leave here, if they do leave in a year or they're coming back, that this is one of the best times of their lives.
Well, you have such an opportunity to impact the 11 players that you have, on multiple hours a day in your court, which is like your classroom, traveling. I mean, it's a very impactful setting for a coach to have a tremendous impact on their life. Coach, we're almost out of time. How are you negotiating? How are you dealing now with some of the visa issues that kids are having getting here from overseas? How is you and the university helping you manage that process now?
Oh, John, I don't know if we don't have enough time to probably go through what all we've been, had to deal with this summer, trying to get, we have a player coming from one of the African countries it's just been a battle. And it's still going, and here we are at the end of September. So, everybody's helpful, and we're trying, and I think we're exhausting, all the steps, and we have people here, we have people down there now, trying to help, get this young lady here, to give her the opportunity, to play collegiate basketball at West Virginia, but to compete in the NCAA, which is a lot of kids' ultimate dreams. And so I think we're getting closer. I think we're the closest that we've been to getting her here. But yeah, there's been just kind of hurdle after hurdle, which I won't probably get into every detail now, but I could just assure you this is months now in the making.
It's going to get tougher as we go forward, so it's not going to be easier. Final thing, where do you see the WNBA going?
Yeah, continuing to improve, and we have a CBA, collective bargaining agreement year, so this is going to change a little bit in the off season. But if you've tuned in over the last year, which I guess most people have, or you're hiding under a rock, just to see the elevation of the women's game at the collegiate level and in the WNBA. If you're watching some of these playoff games, looking these full arenas and the excitement and of what's going on, I think the players are going to have a very good point of contention now, that they should be earning more, getting more, the way that they're selling out these arenas and the fan base, and probably earning a little bit more revenue for the general managers and presidents of these franchises, probably is going to bode well for the players. But we'll keep an eye on it this offseason. Yeah, with the new CBA, there will be some changes for sure.
Well, I'll end here with Ivy. Ivy, do you know that in the recent survey that came out, 55% of NBA fans are male? What is your reaction to that?
I mean, I think that makes sense, because that's just how most sports are, and people would disregard, WNBA and lots of women's sports. But if you actually take time to watch the sports, I mean, women are just as, if not more, aggressive and so fun to watch. So
it's the NBA has turned in, Coach, as you know, to just it's a different animal than what you're coaching now. And I think the reason the WNBA is going to continue to be successful is, if you're a basketball fan, you really do, at the professional level, get pure basketball. You don't really get that anymore in the NBA. I'm kind of old school, so I think that's one of the issues. I think it's going to continue to grow, and it's going to be a fun. Coach, you You're going to have a great season. We're excited. Thank you for sharing your thoughts with us. Don't forget, follow us. All you got to do is download our app, wvsportsnation.com. We are the flagship of West Virginia University Athletics, so everything is here, football, basketball, all the women's games. You're going to find them right here on WV The Torch and our 9 stations that go with it. And if you want to read Ivy covering Coach Kellogg and his team, well, then you just got to go to wvsportsnation.com. Coach, thanks for being with us. Good luck your first day in practice. And good luck with your visa issues. If there's anything I can do, you see what's behind me.
Yeah.
I'll make a phone.
It may take that. It may take that.
I got to talk to the big guy. See if I can get this done.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Coach.
Appreciate it. Have a great day.
All right. That's it. Back to regular programming on wvthetorch.com.